Yo, what's going on, folks? I know it's been a good minute, a good hot minute, you know what I'm saying? But we in here, Joshua here representing 86 Boxing, you know what it is. Got my man Poppy Chun Yayo in the house. What's going on with you?
Yeah, you already know. Heavy on the poppy, light on the yayo. What's cracking? Yeah, man,
Get it.
there's been a minute, man, but we stay locked in on on the sport.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have been in the background, as you all may know. Yeah, we still stay locked in for sure on things. So tonight we're supposed to be doing an interview with Darryl Bagley out of Laurel, Maryland. He's got a fight coming up. It's going to be at the Patapsco Arena in Baltimore in June, I believe the 27th of June to be exact. But as we wait on him, we wanted to come on, have a few points to discuss and all of that because there's a lot of action, a lot of chatter, a lot of just stuff in general going on right now in the sport of boxing. But before we do that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe, not only here, but Poppy Chun Yayo as well. So with that in mind, yeah, a lot of stuff going on there, Poppy, and I mean on so many different fronts, from some good action, some questionable action, some fights, legal action, you name it. You just got the whole nine. The sport is crazy right about now. And we'll say that it's women's boxing that is doing its thing right now, leading the charge in some of these headlines that are out here at this very moment, man. Let's get some thoughts going on. What
Yeah,
like
MVP and found their way into the spotlight again. Man, if you want to talk about some people that know how to market and some people that know how to keep their names in the headlines, MVP and Jake Paul, those guys, man, I want to tell you something, man. Those guys know how to keep their names cracking for whatever reason. They know how to do it and know how to market. I don't gotta like them, but they know how to do it. But at this particular point in time, they on some sucker shit. Ain't no doubt about it. They own some sucker shit. Alicia Baumgardner, yeah. A lot of people are siding with her actions. She looked good though. That's what they say. Yeah, she's an attractive woman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's an attractive woman, but you know what they say? Everything that look good ain't good for you. And
no
in
doubt.
this particular moment, she is all the way in the wrong. You know, I think what we need to start doing in this world and in general, we need to normalize going after the people who initiate the bullshit, right? Usually what happens is you got the initiator that, you know, they agitate something and get something cracking, and then the person who responds typically is the person that gets into trouble, right? Yeah, we need to knock all that off. We need to cut the head off the snake early. You can't just go around threatening people and then when they respond, you want to start doing lawsuits and start getting people banned and try to end people's way of earning money and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not with all that. I'm team Clarissa right now. You know what I'm saying? And this is a point of contention for me because and I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people may or may not understand it, but Alicia's half Korean. Alicia, whatever, she's half Korean, half black. Seems like she turned into like a Korean MAGA supporter after Clarissa slapped her. Right? She was like, "Oh, you cry wolf, man. We know this story in America. People start stuff and cry wolf, and then the person who responds gets in trouble. You see what happened to Chud the Builder? Lock him up. Lock his ass up. What you mean? You going around here starting all this trouble, and then you get exactly what you asked for, and you want to cry wolf? Same with Alicia. Yeah, I said it. And Jake Paul, we know he a MAGA supporter. So what, Alicia, she just doing what her boss say? Yeah, that's some sucker shit right there. Yeah, that's sucker shit right. That's some sellout shit right there. That's some Drake shit. That sounds like she cosplaying black. when it benefits her. Yeah, she can go out there and twerk and do all this and all that. But when it came down to that action she was asking for, Clarissa had something for her. That's what I'm talking about, Clarissa. Slap her ass again.
No, I feel you there for sure. I feel you. Again, here, 86 Boxing, Poppy Chew. Yeah, yo, we're in the mix here talking about the altercation that went down between Alicia Baumgartner, Clarissa Shields at the MVP MMA event that took place this past weekend. It was pretty testy, feisty. There was some video out there, a few different angles and such. Now, we knew that the two have had some bad blood. A lot of things have been said, and they've seen each other at events and all of that stuff before. One of the things is that, in the environment of this sport or boxing, or I guess with any sport, it can get testy at times, and sometimes things happen, but it all adds to the fervor and sort of that suspense for a potential showdown or whatever it may be down the line. So we've seen instances of this nature happen with others within the sport. Now, it doesn't always turn to legal action. So this is a sort of different step that you don't typically see, certainly considering that, blood's boiled and there's been a lot of back and forth. We saw Caleb Plant, Jamal Charlo, right? And I don't think that nothing legal came about with that. We've seen other stuff that are similar in nature and nothing legal came about. So I do understand where you're coming from. Some will say, hey, don't put your hands on anyone. And, that I think that could be applicable as well. It's like, hey, maybe it went a bridge too far with her putting their hands on Alicia. But that being said, sometimes words can have certain types of repercussions, and you got to be prepared for it because you never know how someone is going to react, let alone there are other situations that come about that are wholly unprovoked or where there was no back and forth, and maybe it just turns into something of that nature. So it is an interesting aspect that they're taking legal action, and Clarissa has been banned from, as I understand it, any MVP related event. So that's, I'm guessing, boxing and MMA. Whether cooler heads prevail, I don't know. We know that there was some back and forth between Clarissa and Jake Paul over the years. Nothing major, just more so banter regarding actually stepping in the ring. But Clarissa did note that MVP wanted to sign her as well. And of course, we know she ended up continuing her deal with Salida Promotions. So you wonder if, just all of the behind the scenes stuff, just the parties involved and all of that stuff, just added even more to it. You know what I'm saying? To where, it just kind of reached this point and it blew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's still some sucker shit, bro. Yeah. Like you're banned from all of our events. Let's talk about some differences. So Conor McGregor and his gang of thugs, usual suspects, break into Madison Square Garden. They broke into it. So Conor McGregor is not an American citizen, by the way. He's a citizen of Ireland, right? Breaks into Madison Square Garden with his homies. Gang like activities, picks up a dolly, throws a dolly through a bus window shatters, people get injured, people get stitches. Did Conor McGregor get banned from Madison Square Garden? No. Did Conor McGregor did they ban him from the UFC? Right? Did they make it so that he couldn't get money? No, Conor McGregor actually went on to get his whole whiskey brand, and the UFC put his whiskey brand there on the ring and all that type of stuff, right? They made him the face of everything. So, and he went around and he did domestic violence and smacked a drink out of an old man's hand at a bar because the dude didn't want to drink his whiskey brand. Ronda Rousey, domestic abuse. Right? You see what I'm saying? So did nobody stop them from being able to earn money. Nobody tried to put them in jail. As a matter of fact, Conor McGregor should have lost his ability to be in the United States. That seems like that's a felony to me. So you shouldn't even be able to allow. They should have deported his ass. He should never be allowed to come back to the States after doing something like that. Right. So we could talk about those things. You know, I mean, what's his name? I can't remember where he comes from, but the Dagestan guy who they got into a thing where he leg kicked the dude. Sean Strickland, he leg kicked him.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, did somebody sue him and try to put him in jail and make it so that he couldn't get money? No, they get to see each other in the ring. So yeah. I agree with you to an extent where people shouldn't put their hands on each other, right? Yeah. But when we're talking about gladiators, people who make a living off of putting their hands on people, if they putting their hands on another gladiator, people are like, oh, she's in a different weight class. No, they are adults.
Right.
They're grown women who happen to be in the fighting sport, and one of them happened to do a threat, and the other one happened to be on the receiving end. You know what I'm saying? The schmiznak. Yeah. She smacked all the black out of her. She turned her into a MAGA supporter. I'm telling you, bro. Come on now, Jake Paul and them, man. Listen, bro. So if you want to, do legal actions and ban people and stop them from doing that stuff, what about Netflix? Like, you guys got a Netflix deal and you out here talking about doing blackface. How about that, sponsors? How about if we boycott the sponsors, right? So we ain't playing these games with y'all, man. Knock all that shit off. And all you black women out here hating on Clarissa Shields, y'all just mad at her because you Remy Ma fans, right? Know the difference. Even Remy Ma's American, right? Clarissa's American, right? You know what I mean? Like, y'all out here, oh, she's out with papoose, blah, 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 blah. So what? Who cares about their personal life? We talking about boxing here. That's what we talking about. We talking about boxing, and y'all are out here. The hate that Clarissa's receiving is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
No, I hear you 100%. Again, we're here, 86 Boxing, Poppy Chun Yayo. We're having a discussion. And hey, that's what we do on here. We have those deep type of discussions, and we appreciate everyone who's dropping in. Those will be checking on the replay. Salute to Josh Taylor as well, who dropped by, showed some love. We should be interviewing Darryl Bagley at some point coming up, so we're just waiting on him to get situated, hop on, and we can go from there. But in the meantime, we're talking what is going on here in the sports, some of the latest headlines and such. The Clarissa and Alicia sort of legal action now that is at play. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ultimately plays out there, because you have two of the biggest names in the sport, certainly two of the biggest names on the women's side, but in the sport in general. So I'd imagine this could get even uglier depending on the route that is taken, especially once you start to get the legal system involved with it. And I know Alicia mentioned, or in her post, that she'd be speaking through her legal team or whatnot. So it'll be interesting. So hopefully, as mentioned, cooler heads can prevail, and maybe this leads to a matchup between the two at some point down the road, because as you noted, they may be in different weight classes, but Alicia seems to think that she can handle her. At least that's the interpretation that I've gotten from some of the things that she said. She doesn't seem to have an issue with the weight class or whatnot. So, hey, if they make it happen, make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, she got an issue with it. You got how you supposed to fight somebody? You try to get her put in jail.
Yeah.
She got an issue with it. That's not what she's looking for. At this point, she's a clout chaser. A woman who's cosplaying. She's cosplaying black people, just like she's pulling a Miley Cyrus. That's what she's doing. She's pulling a Miley Cyrus. She out here twerking and shit. And then when it's convenient for her, she get to go over to the countryside. She out here. She finna put the hip hop and twerking up and start doing the K-pop. Yeah, I said it. Año haseo. Yeah. What's up with it?
Yeah, as Rob Parker says, here for a cup of coffee and a sweet roll, and then move
Yeah,
on to the thing. You know what I'm saying? So this will be
she had
interesting.
she'd have
This
made
is
a pit stop in the hip hop culture.
yeah, no doubt about it. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. But hey, we're welcoming and inviting people in, and sometimes it's just crazy. You want some of that reciprocation, and it
Mhm.
doesn't always happen. So hey, we're gonna continue to do what we do, continue to build bridges. Of course, that's the ultimate goal there. Again, we got Darryl Bagley getting ready to hop on here. He got with me. He'll be here momentarily, as a matter of fact, and we're gonna discuss his career as a fighter out of Laurel, Maryland. We'll find out a good deal about him. This being myself, Ernest, because he's a new fighter for us in terms of we've just recently been introduced to him. So we're going to try and get his story. I'm sure it may be new for some of you in the audience as well. So we look forward to that. Um, Real quick, though, there is a big card that is coming up in Egypt. I think that's a massive platform or whatnot. But we'll get into that. But because Darryl is here now, so we're gonna bring him on and we'll dive into the discussion surrounding his career and what's upcoming. Give me one sec as I get things switched over here to get us prepped to be able to take him on. There again, it's going to be Darryl Bagley who's going to be joining us. All right. Hey, how's it going there, Darryl? What's going on with you?
How y'all doing?
Hey, good to go. Joshua here, my man Ernest, aka Poppy Chew and Yayo in the building. Hey, it's good to be able to hear from you. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I know you're holding it down. Are you just coming from the gym?
Man, yeah, just going from the gym and just getting off of work.
Okay, okay. Good to
Yes,
go.
sir.
Good to go. So yeah, we were prepping things. We were mentioning that yeah, you'd be new to our audience and all of that stuff. Again, Darryl Bagley out of Laurel, Maryland, folks. And what gym are you with, Darryl?
So I started with Cherry Lane Boxing in Laurel, but
Okay.
you know, I ended up doing business and starting my professional career with Elite Boxing and Fitness out of Columbia.
Okay. Elite Boxing and Fitness, Columbia.
Hmm.
Okay, I thought it was Elite something. Okay, that's
Yeah,
good
yeah,
to
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so yeah, and I'm familiar with Cherry Lane as well, because they're under PBA and all that good stuff. So shout out to the
Exactly.
crew. Shout out to the crew over there. But no, it's good to be able to talk to you, man. So yeah, super welterweight, I see there, uh, fighting out of Laurel as mentioned. So man, it's good to be able to talk to you. And I see you're 2-0, two knockouts. I see
Yeah,
you fought at Patapsco Arena. You got a fight
yeah,
coming up. So
yeah.
yeah, how have you been there camp wise? Have you already started camp, or are you already getting prepped for that one?
Heck yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I haven't been out of the gym since my second fight. I fought Saturday and was back in the gym that Tuesday and was sparring Thursday.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I would imagine so, man. I mean, you got a total of 2 minutes and 5 seconds in the ring. 2 minutes and five
yeah,
seconds a combat
yeah,
time here. What,
yeah,
32
yeah.
seconds?
Yeah, exactly. And the first one went pretty quick too. And I honestly want to keep it that way, till it's like actually time to make some money, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
right.
yeah, I'm trying to work smarter, not harder with this boxing thing.
Understood. So, I mean, like I said, our audience, we want to get them familiar with you. What
Mhm.
actually got you into boxing?
So, it's funny because I tried to get into it when I was a kid, like around maybe like 12 or 13, but it was just too slow. They had me in the mirror and they had me shadow boxing. I was just looking in the ring and seeing guys sparring. I was like, if I can't do that, I'm not doing it. So then fast forward, I started wrestling maybe like my junior, senior year of high school, and then I ended up getting a wrestling scholarship at a D2 in Colorado.
Hmm.
And after that kind of didn't work out, I came back home and I was like, let me try this whole combat sports thing. And I was thinking about taking the MMA route, but I was like, nah. For some reason, me and Wilbur kind of just seen eye to eye. Wilbur's Damon Nicholson's dad. So
Yeah.
he was just like, yeah, man, like, let's learn the sweet science. And it's just all she wrote from there. And this was probably like 10 years ago.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to Demond Nicholson, friend of
Yeah,
the
we know
channel
him.
there for sure, holding it
Yeah,
down
that's my
there.
dog.
The best at it there. So,
There
are you
you
still
go.
training? His dad's not your trainer now, right?
No.
Okay.
So honestly, because I work with Kwame in the evenings and the afternoons,
Yeah.
Damon's uncle is actually training me, Thomas Jones,
Okay. Okay.
and I've been doing a lot of work with him. But it's kind of like relatively, I want to say the same teaching with just a little bit of spin on it. You know what I mean? Because he also
Okay.
did some work with Troy Fox and them too down in Dream Team.
Oh yeah.
So he
Yeah.
got a little bit of game from them. He was with Damon down in Headbangers. We all used to follow Damon down in Upton. So, like, we kind of been in the area of this beautiful boxing, and we kind of just take a little bit of pieces from everybody.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Hey, that's one of the things I always say. It's a lot of talent here in the
It's a
area just
lot.
in general. So,
It's a
especially when
lot.
you factor in Virginia, which is right there, mixing it in with Maryland, going up to Baltimore, DC.
Mm-hmm.
It is a good deal. So, I feel it's an enjoyment, and a privilege to be in this area because there's a lot of
I agree.
boxing that takes place because some spots,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they don't quite get it
It's
like this.
dead. It's dead. Yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, 154 is that division is, man. I don't. That's one of the toughest divisions in boxing, if you
Yeah.
ask me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
I
it's a
agree.
real heat there. It's a
I
real
agree.
heat there. Do you ever get an opportunity to go up to Philly and get some work in with those guys, sparring and things of that nature?
So not since I was with Upton. When I was training down in Baltimore with
Yeah.
Calvin and them in 2019, we probably went to Philly maybe like once or twice. Now I didn't run into Boots or anybody like a few other guys did, but I always kind of wanted to. But I also was like just kind of getting into boxing back then. Maybe
Okay.
like I was probably like 2 or 3 years in, and only maybe like 3 or 4 fights in. So I was also kind of like a little weary. But like now going forward, I'm definitely thinking about going to like Philly, New York, New Jersey, like because it's not that far. You know what
Right.
I mean? So yeah, it's definitely on the horizon. It's definitely like in my kind of like viewpoint. But I'm just kind of taking it step by step.
Understood.
Okay. Good to go. Hey, and I was gonna ask, how was that sort of transition for you? Because we got shout out to Stephanie Simon. She's a fighter, and she was in the Marine Corps. And she came from a wrestling base, and then she started doing boxing and all that stuff as
Mm-hmm.
well. For you, that wrestling base, how's that transition as far as the boxing? Now there is a long history connection with boxing and wrestling. And then that physicality, that aspect, as I understand it, the wrestlers from the weight cutting and all of that stuff as well. How was
Exactly.
the transition for you?
Exactly. It definitely helped. Because a lot of instances in wrestling, how you win is really kind of like breaking the will of another person. It's like a
Yeah.
one-on-one sport. Like you can literally kind of see the fight leave a person's spirit as you're winning the match, and it kind of goes the same thing in boxing. It's just like instead of on the ground, it's more so on your feet. Now I'd say like boxing has a lot more conditioning involved.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of people will agree or disagree, because a lot of people say, oh, well, grappling's this and grappling's that, but you're literally on your feet. And anybody that's ever boxed will tell you it's a marathon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a mixed martial arts fight or like any type of jiu-jitsu or grappling match is more of like a short burst of sprints. Whereas boxing, like, yeah, you got that sprint, but if you don't win that match off of that sprint, then you still got a long way to go. Whether it's 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, or 12 rounds, like those 4 rounds still eat some people up too.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely helped, and I don't mind cutting weight. I can, of course, the process is grueling, but I'm familiar with it. Like I've been doing it since high school, and I did it in college. So like, yeah, I kind of have a pretty decent system. Now I will say you can kind of get away with a little bit less food in the tank and like nutrition and wrestling as opposed to boxing, because the boxing
Yeah.
training to me is just a lot more conditioning. So you got to have like different levels of fuel when
Hmm.
you're prepping for a boxing match as opposed to a wrestling match. Like I used to go kind of like a day or two without eating and just used to hydrate and get on the mat and then lose the water. But as opposed to like if I'm trying to spar or hit the pads, while I'm trying to cut weight, it doesn't work.
I got
Yeah,
you.
it doesn't work.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen
Mm-hmm.
some others sort of going through the process and all that stuff. And yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
do. Yeah, that nutritional aspect of it is key piece as
It's
well there,
everything.
because you still need to keep your metabolism going and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't envy it. That's what I would say, just from being in and around the gyms and just kind of seeing it as people go through it. And it can vary because some people, as we've seen, it may not be a good thing, but they shoot up there in weight in between fights. Others, they
Mm-hmm.
stay kind of moderate, where it's not like a heavyweight cut for them or whatnot. So having a little background in that, I suppose you're able to seem like you're able to kind of pinpoint it or point out what you need to do in order, to be
Exactly.
successful for yourself.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still human. Like so,
Yeah.
like in between my first fight, my first fight was in September. My second fight was in February. So I
Okay.
had November, December, and January. And I'm born in January. So I'm literally Thanksgiving hit me, Christmas hit me, my birthday hit me. So I
Oh,
picked up quite a bit of weight
oh,
after before that second fight. Like I had like a 20-pound weight cut, before my second fight. And I waited too late to do it too. Like I did it probably like in the last 2-3 weeks of the fight.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah. So
Well,
it
we're
was,
glad you
it
made it through.
was
You got to stop
yeah.
anyway, so
yeah.
you made it through.
Yeah,
Beans,
yeah,
greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Straight up.
yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
definitely I like to eat, man. Like shoot,
yeah.
Hey,
I'm
that
not gonna
would
lie
that would
to
be
you.
my issue right there, right there.
Hmm.
Chowing down, being staying away
You
from
Yeah,
be
eating
careful.
sweets.
You gonna have to get up
yeah.
there and fight at 175. You go.
So my first amateur fight was at light heavyweight. My
Okay.
first
Okay,
amateur fight
okay.
was at light heavyweight for sure, and then I cut down to 65, and then now of course entering the pros at 54. Now I'm kind of looking at 47. Like, if I can get down to like 53, 52, I think I could try to make that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm definitely thinking about it. But of course, those guys are gonna get quicker too. And I hate to
Yeah.
say it, I'm not that fast on my feet. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to like strategically kind of place myself where I'm at.
Use that mind in there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you
Exactly.
overcome it. You ain't overcome it. Keep that in
Exactly.
mind.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's good stuff. Real quick though, before you go, I don't know since you brought it up, the amateur side of it. How many amateur fights did you have? Or how long did you stay in amateurs?
7, bro. So
Okay.
so of course I got into the sport late, and
Yeah.
I always had to have like a full-time job. Like sometimes I had 2 jobs, three
Yeah.
jobs. I never really established a career yet besides boxing because I was always so fixated on boxing. Like I never really picked up any trades or anything.
Yeah.
But I definitely was always trying to like get to the money and box, and that's kind of like that was a part of my difficulty in the amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
So like I spent a lot of time out of the gym. So I started boxing before the pandemic. Nobody was boxing during 2020.
Yeah.
And then even like there was a year or two after that where I actually had like a decent job that was paying me pretty good, and it kind of kept me out of the gym. So
Mm-hmm.
off and on, like I said, I was boxing 10 years. I was doing a lot of sparring, so I think that's kind of like what helped me, like
Okay.
sparring Tank and Mike and Damon, and I
Well, that's good.
spent a little bit of time with Thomas Williams too. Like, so
Okay.
I've been around enough and blessed to be around enough good guys to kind of like watch and learn. But I never really was that active in the amateurs, and it's
Okay.
unfortunate because I still kind of I get damn near the shakes before pro fights. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
nerve wracking as hell.
No, that's okay though.
That's, that's,
That's a part of any any competition. There's people who do plays and musicals and stuff like that. They
Exactly.
be
Exactly.
backstage throwing up.
yeah. Right.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
I mean that come with the territory.
Yeah.
Um.
Exactly.
So I mean, since you had a late start in boxing, but who are some of the boxers that influenced you? That like who are some of your favorite fighters?
Um. Well, outside of the local guys, because that's really who I pay attention to. Like I started with Damon and Thomas Williams.
Yeah.
Um.
No.
I went down to Baltimore and was training with Tank and Lil Malik Warren and
Mm-hmm.
Malik Hawkins. I used to see all those guys, and a lot of people would come in. Emmanuel Lima would come in, Travis Lewis would come in. I spent a little bit of time down Dream Team and was paying a lot of attention to
Mm-hmm.
Mike and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
But like on the mainstream grand scheme of things, I like to watch the big guys, the big names, Floyd, Andre Ward, the tactical people. I like to watch the people that are built like me too, the James Tonys, the Mike Tysons, anybody that I can kind of feel like I can box like. I used to try to watch a lot of. Now I love Roy Jones' work, but I can't box like Roy Jones, so I don't watch a lot of Roy Jones. You know what I mean? Of course, I pay attention to the '80s fighters. I watched Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, or Roberto Duran. Like, I feel like that's a rule of thumb. The heavyweights from the '60s. Like, I try to get as much boxing knowledge and experience as I can, because it's just one of those rich sports where it has a lot of rich history.
Oh yeah.
That's a great answer, man. I watched an interview with Roy Jones and Andre Ward, and I learned a lot about what it takes to get to a certain level. Roy Jones actually, he's an OG, man. Like, just listening to him talk about how he got to where he got to was pretty incredible. It's good that you watch a lot of different guys, because you can learn something from anybody. And and now that you're actually in the sport, I would imagine that when you actually watch fights now, that you see it differently versus how somebody else would see it.
We lost your mic there for second there, Darryl. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
I think we got you. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, a lot of times I don't look at like how much a person's connecting punches. I look at what they're doing with their feet.
Okay.
Like, I love what Shakur does with his feet. I love what Haney does with his feet. I love what Tank does with his feet. Like, I really, really like how those guys kind of like set up their punches versus like just kind of like brawling, like how a lot of guys and how a lot of casual fans watch boxing. Like, a lot of people just watch those brutal fights and somebody gets hurt. Whereas Andre Ward's kind of like whole philosophy was a bad night for me is me not getting cut. It's just me not getting the knockout. You know what I mean? Whereas a bad fight for some people is you might end up in the hospital and your teeth are gone. You know what I mean? So I really kind of like that side of boxing and just like the whole business side of it, because, man, it's a sport that you can die in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why we appreciate it, but at the same time, you don't have to do it like that.
That's right.
So
but with you getting all these first round stoppages, you putting some pressure on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's a blessing. Honestly, like, I was surprised the dude fell out my second fight. Like, I just kind of like seen what he was giving me, and I was like, oh man, he's not throwing any jabs. So I threw a straight punch, and then it landed good, and then I was just like, whoa.
Right.
So I was just surprised as everybody watching,
Well, you're attuned to that. Yeah, you take advantage of that. If they ain't throwing that jab, then okay, that's a problem right there.
Yeah. And that's kind of what people tell me, man. Like, they tell me, like, man, you have a really good jab. And I'm like, man, shoot, that's all I got.
Hey, it can take you a long way.
You know what I mean? Like, and everybody that I was sparring that was pretty much like established. Like I remember I would spar Chuck a lot when I was down Upton, and that would be sometimes the only punch I could land was a jab. If I tried to open up a throw combination, I was getting caught.
I got you.
Yeah.
But that's what's up, Hey, that is the most fundamental, like one of the first things they teach you right there. So you can't go wrong. That is the tone setter right there.
Go wrong.
And some people, their issue is forgetting it. You know what I'm saying? So, at least you're attuned to that. That's plus. Hey, real quick, want to shout out to my man Clubber D. Dropped by Clubber D in the building. He will be here on us. He's out of town on travel right there, holding it down. Appreciate you, Clubber D. I mean, he said, fantastic wrestling background. Have you ever wanted to jab, then shoot for the silhouette?
That's funny as heck. It's crazy. People ask me that all the time. They're like, man, do you ever want to wrestle while you're in a boxing match? And honestly, sometimes it's not really shooting for a takedown. I like to, when people try to clinch me, I'll get an underhook.
Oh, yeah.
I'll either go to an underhook and I'll try to shuffle to the side that I have the underhook on, and then I'll throw like a body shot or something like that. It hasn't gotten to that far where I'll like shoot an underhook and then go for a high crotch and then go for the takedown or something like that. But I always see myself sometimes like I don't know if you guys watched the Nair Albright fight Keyshawn Davis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he clinched him and he kind of like suplexed him a little bit. Like that's kind of something I would do for sure.
Well, hey, that's all right.
Not to.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm real comfortable in the clinch. Like really comfortable.
Yeah, that's all right though. You know, I feel like wrestlers that they have an advantage because you have stronger legs than most people, right? Mm-hmm. And having a strong base and a strong foundation like that is nothing but an advantage in any combat sport really. Mm-hmm. So you know, Terrence Crawford, he's one of those guys, right? Exactly. You look at him, but he could deadlift a whole lot of weight. Mm-hmm. He's very good at controlling on the inside, and when you can wear guys down by being able to do that. And if you're grabbing and you're wrapping guys up, or you're all the way on the inside, you ain't got to worry about taking damage if you're doing that.
Exactly.
So it's part of the sport.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of dirty boxing that comes with grappling. Like you can control the head, you can control one side of the body, even like head placement. You can place your head kind of like in their shoulder, and they won't be able to hit your head if you place your head on the inside in certain spots. So. Yeah, there's a lot of little nuances that come with it. Like, and even Rolly Romero, he's a judo guy.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, he's another grappler. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And people say what they want about Rolly, but Rolly, he's not that bad of a boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Rolly.
He's getting paid.
Rolly clean Ryan Garcia up. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Clean him up.
Shoot, I'll take a couple of Rolly's checks.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yeah, you know how to entertain too, you know what I'm saying? So that's a plus thing right there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out everyone here in the mix. Appreciate you here. Again, we're here with Darryl Bagley holding it down 2-0, junior middleweight out of Laurel, Maryland. Hey, Darryl, earlier you had mentioned that you considered MMA. Now, was that because of your wrestling, or just you were just looking for kind of whatever potential outlet was there?
And you know what's crazy? I'm glad you kind of mentioned that it's a potential outlet, because that's really like my whole thing with the combat sports. Like even after college, man, I kind of needed something to do, because I knew, like me personally, there's just so much out here that you can get into that's not productive. You know what I mean? So, not only would I consider it an outlet, it was just, the money is pretty good starting out in MMA. Yeah. Now, I wasn't aware that I was going to be able to sell tickets at the rate I can sell tickets. Like, God bless, knock on wood.
Oh yeah.
But I'm kind of glad that I'm able to do so. So I didn't really need like that MMA money on the small end. But I always said, like, if I get a big enough reputation in boxing where I can kind of just, like, cross over and then fight one of the bigger guys, like, yeah, I would try my hand. I would learn how to kick for, like, 4 or 5 months. And then know some jiu-jitsu, and then, yeah, I would definitely try my hand, for sure. Because, it's like another paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, and those guys do it all the time. They're not really – and I don't think anybody's been too successful at it. You know, Francis Ngannou got destroyed by Anthony Joshua. You know, James Toney fought Randy Couture, and that didn't go good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super one-sided. Clarissa's doing okay, though. I think Clarissa's doing all right.
She's 2-1.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so, you know, I would definitely try my hand.
Yeah.
Why not? Type of thing.
The potential is there. Then they got the bare knuckle thing. Would you do that?
Exactly. Nah, man.
I'll tell you for sure. I'll tell you. I'm with you.
No, my hands hurt boxing. So, like, I can only imagine. Like, that bone on bone, man. Shout out to those guys, bro.
You need a personal surgeon. You need a personal plastic surgeon when you're doing that.
Exactly, man. There's no way, bro. Like, did y'all see Paulie? What happened to Paulie? Like,
man. Paulie is.
Paulie needs to hang it up.
Yeah. Nah, I couldn't.
I don't know what he gripping and latching on to, but he probably needs to not do it in that sport.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man.
Paulie gonna be on Pro Box with a Phantom of the Opera mask on.
He's not gonna be able to talk soon, man. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It don't seem like there's a lot of drug testing going on over there. You know, you see some interesting characters.
See?
You know what I mean?
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Yeah,
That's another
interesting
thing.
things happening.
Yeah, there is a guy though that I've been keeping up with. I can't think of his name. He's from Chicago. He has like 40 or 50 amateur boxing matches. You guys gotta look him up.
Oh yeah.
I'll shoot his Instagram over to you guys when I get out there and look at it. He's been tearing guys to pieces, but he's a pure boxer. He's a pure boxer. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can even see like after his fights, like he wouldn't even be taking that much damage, but his eyes will still be swollen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just bone on bone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I feel you there for sure. But no, I definitely want to check them out right there because that boxing base, that goes a long way for sure.
Yeah, because there's no technique. Those people don't move their heads.
Yeah.
They're just standing in front of each other like they're outside. Nah.
Yeah. So I brought that up because it's an interesting one that is out there. We'll see. And it looks like it's growing, you know, it's getting more places. And we got other variations of it that are coming as well, or that are out there now. Not necessarily just BKFC, but you have some of these other ones that are doing their thing. So, hey, we'll see more, I'd imagine. And I wonder if we start to see even more boxers who sort of hang it up. I know Austin Trout was over there doing bare knuckle.
Oh yeah, he did his thing. He did his thing. Austin Trout did his thing over there. Yeah, he did his thing.
I can see that. Yeah, Austin Trout can fight a little bit too. He can fight real good, actually. Yeah.
It may be one of those things, sort of like, hey, an outlet, hey, for some boxers as they're, racking it up in the sport or whatever. And hey, we'll see. They're paying.
If the money makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You know what I mean? Like somebody was like, hey, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000.
Making an offer he can't refuse.
You know what I mean? I might do it. Shoot. I don't know. You know what I mean? Now, anything less than 10, I'm good.
No, I feel you for sure.
Yeah, I'm good. I might even go do power slap before I go do that.
Oh no! Oh no, man! I see the dude they call Wolverine. Like I've been watching power slapping for years before it became an official sport. Yeah, man. I done seen dude get the teeth get smacked out. Like,
free concussion.
Yeah, you can't just sit there and let somebody just haul off and just.
No, I can't do it. Just not built for it.
It be them dudes that be like they be like farmers, bro. They were, you know what I'm saying? They be wrangling cows with their bare hand.
Yeah, exactly. Right on the chin.
And they'll cheat too. They'll hit you with the palm of their hands. They'll take a deduction to give you a concussion.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
It's insane. It's wicked out here, isn't it?
Yeah. Do that, bro.
Yeah, it's wicked.
So look, BoxRec has you listed at 5'8". Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Accurate.
So let's
go ahead.
So let's say you get fast tracked and you have a Edgar Berlanga type streak where you 12-0 with all first round knockouts, and they try to put you in there with Fundora. Have you ever sparred somebody that was 6'7"?
The tallest person I probably sparred was Mike. Mike, okay. For sure. I would take the Keith Thurman approach right there. I'd be right down Sugar Ray trying to Mike. Where you at?
Okay. Yeah, he's tall and slender, so they list him at 6'3", 6'4", or 6'3.5" or something like that.
For sure.
You talking about Fox?
Sure. Yeah, Mike Fox. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. That's how I would prep for that for sure. And I think I would take it. I think I would definitely just go to his body, and I would try to get him like old boy got him, like go to his body and throw overhand.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, he was throwing a lot of straight punches to Keith Thurman, so he's gonna be hard to deal with.
Oh yeah, he's getting better. I'd say that he's definitely getting better.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about that earlier.
With him. That's what I want to see. Either Boots or like Xander Zayas or somebody like one of those top 154 guys. If it ever happens, you know how boxing goes.
Oh yeah. Hey, that fight's happening. Boots, Xander Zayas. What do you think of that?
For sure.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I definitely got Boots. I honestly wanted to see, fantasy fight Boots and Terrence Crawford. Like that was like the fantasy fight for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, like I don't blame anybody for milking the system how they milk it, man.
Yeah.
You know
Get
what I
your
mean?
money.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you can die.
Yeah. 154 got dogs in there. I mean, we could see Boots Earl, Boots Virgil Ortiz. You know, it's some dogs in 154, man. I love watching them that division. I mean, and Jamel Charlo trying to be, you know, he's trying to be back in there. So it's definitely some work there.
Exactly. I think I would try to sneak away with something because that's where Jared Hurd unified everything at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think he just kind of like bullied his way to the belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think definitely, like, if I could try to mimic his style too, or if I could just, you know, take an ass whooping and then let a motherfucker get tired.
No, don't do that. No, Jared Hurd was taking too much damage.
Yeah.
He was
taking too much damage.
He was taking a lot of damage.
So that kind of offset it. So
he got a heart made of gold, though.
Yeah, right. No doubt about it. You know, so you always wondered about that sort of the damage. You know, so hit that pinnacle, but you know, it's kind of short in terms of because there's a lot of tough fights. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But he did it in a doggish type way, you know what I'm saying? He took it and dished it out. You know?
Man, he gave away all of his advantages every time.
Yeah.
All his advantages, he gave them away, you know?
Yeah. It was surprising, man, how he kind of did that, man. Because even if you talk to some people locally, they're like, man, you know?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, that's what I've heard for sure.
He did it, but... you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things. So you never know. So when those opportunities come about. Now, Darryl, you're 32, right? I saw on Botbrick said you're 32. 32. So I know you mentioned starting late and all that stuff. So you're still at a good age where you can make some things happen. As far as what your sort of outlook is, are you someone that wants to sort of fast track it towards, say, a title or anything of that nature? And as a matter of fact, what may be a better question is the one you asked there, Poppy, in terms of the little 3 different things. You know what I'm saying? That may be a better question. So hold that thought right there, Darryl. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, so a question that I always ask every guest. It's not. It has no right or wrong answer. What I would say is you got belts, you got legacy, and you got money. Because you rank those 3 things in the order that that how you prefer to be. Like what's your preference between belts? Could you put them all in order and maybe explain why?
I definitely wouldn't mind legacy. Like me and Kwame talk about it all the time. Like I wouldn't mind having a Mickey Ward career. Like if I can get Fight of the Year maybe like once or twice, or Knockout of the Year once or twice, I wouldn't need a belt. You know what I mean? Because if you can fight, you're gonna get paid. You know, Gabriel Rosado, I don't think ever had a belt. Gabriel Rosado's paid.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with the dude that Devin Haney beat, light skinned dude, Regis Program.
Regis.
Oh yeah.
Paid. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, a belt would be nice. You know what I mean? But even now, how these people are talking about these sanctioning fees, like that's getting big now. Like I'm not pressed. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm just kind of here to kind of, get my money and go. Like, and again, I don't have that much time invested into the sport either. You know what I mean? There's some people like I didn't spend a lifetime doing it. You know what I mean? And I'm just also here to learn. Like as much as I can pick up on while I can. Like, and I wouldn't mind fighting into my 40s. It just depends on how it goes, And then plus, there's so many ways around. Like people are going to Colombia and fighting. People are going to Mexico and fighting. Like, I'm like, man. Like, I wonder how much is an opponent in Thailand or the Philippines. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind going to Europe and fighting. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta be about 115 pounds to go to Thailand.
yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Yeah, they probably only got like 4 or 5 welterweights there.
Right.
In the whole country.
They get it in, but that's funny. But no, that's that's I think a good thought process right there, because one thing we always say is very fleeting being in this sport. While you're there, you got your health and all that stuff. You gotta, do what you can and maximize. Hey, you're in shape, you're locked in, you got the mindset and everything, so to maximize that. But as
Exactly.
you noted as well, and I've heard from others, they speaking about how some boxers, while they may not necessarily make that superstar level or whatever, they do well in the sport. You know, even though there are some traveling opponents, or for instance, you know
Right.
that you may look at their record and not think anything of it, but hey, they're getting paid every time they go out there
Come
and
on,
step in that
man.
ring, and they're
Come
like
on,
ready
man.
every weekend, realistically, you know.
Come on.
Josh, speaking of that, man, that was on the European card that happened this past weekend. But this dude record was 1 win, 70 losses, and 1 draw.
Insane. Insane. Insane.
He
So
know his
I
role. He know his role. Like I'm
and
about to go. Let's get out there.
he said he ain't never been hurt. And he said the reason why the stoppages happened is because he just stopped punching back.
Right. Insane.
Hey, he just be like, yeah, I'm about to go out here and take down L real quick. You know?
Yeah. He gave a gold medalist some work.
Hey, you gotta love those individuals there for sure. Hey, they keep the sport going because you need these opponents that you can go up against. Hey, Darryl, I don't know if you hear us, but your screen blacked out. You might have dropped off signal wise. We're still here though. If you can hear us. All right, we'll wait for Darryl to hopefully he gets back in or it drops off or it connects back. But that being said, here with Darryl Bagley. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh yeah, and sometimes you get a call, it goes black and all that stuff. Can you hear us? Let's see here.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Let me see. Let me remove you. Bring it back here. What about now? You hear us?
Okay, I think it's working.
All right, gotcha. You hear us, right?
I can't hear y'all though.
Interesting.
Damn.
The signal might have went out. Hold on. Let me see here.
I just got a phone call.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah, if you get a phone call, it does black it out for some reason. Let me see. Try to disconnect and come back in. Let me drop it in the comments. So here with Darryl Bagley, folks. Oh yeah, it's been a good conversation too. You know, we want to get you. We definitely want to finish this thing up. So yeah, try to disconnect and come back. All right, he's trying to disconnect here.
All right, there we go.
And hopefully he'll hop back in this thing. But yeah, so far so good there. Ernest, in terms of having this discussion, you know, hey, I like his mindset, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. I mean, this is prize fighting, right? You know,
prize fighting.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to think about and stay attuned to the sort of business side of it as well, you know, because sometimes that opportunity can come, or sometimes you can be waiting, or you may get that one opportunity. And hey, just keeping yourself ready, locked in, prepared. Hey, it can work wonders for you there, especially in this sport.
You got dudes that's been training for 20 weeks, and then they'll call the dude 2 weeks out and be like, "Hey, man, we need somebody." You know what I'm saying? Be like, "Yeah, damn, bro, 2 weeks."
You're right, right.
All right, let me put these Twinkies down. You know, I can run 5 miles, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go 6 rounds with 100 punches around. I can't do that.
Yeah, right, right. You know, and you got you have those individuals in the sport. We see it there all the time. But hey, some individuals, hey, they're ready, they're locked in, and just waiting for that call. They're on standby for opportunities like this. So you never know what can come about from it. So good stuff here, folks. We're with Darryl Bagley, waiting for him to hop back on here as we finish our discussion. He's a junior middleweight out of Laurel, Maryland. Looks like he's back in here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
There, Darryl. You hear us?
Okay. Yeah. We good.
All right, good to go. Yeah. We were saying we could hear you. You couldn't hear us, but we were talking about how how you get a call, sometimes it'll throw things off, the screen will go black, at least on this end and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All good though, all good. Yeah, we were just chatting about opportunity, kind of where where we had left off. The discussion was still going on. It just in your mindset, you have the right one, and you never know when that opportunity is going to come knock or whatever. And hey, just keep yourself locked in, prepared for whatever it may be. And I like the fact that you're willing to travel. That's something that I feel like if I was a boxer, I wouldn't mind going to fight over in the UK or some of these other countries. You know what I'm saying? And they might. Hey, you're not gonna have the hometown advantage, but that being said, that experience and understanding yourself and knowing what you can do.
Exactly.
I mean, we have that.
Yeah, shoot. Stephen Fulton, I don't think ever would have went to Japan if he wasn't able to fight anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot, look at, and I'm sure he got paid enough. I'd have stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I would, man. Anyway, he knocked all the toppings off my man's Philly cheesesteak. You know what I mean? Like, I was so hurt by that, bro. I was like, hey, bro. Anyway, he's really good.
Yeah,
that's what what else can you say? Like, man, he's really good. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Stephen Fulton, man, that buddy he is a high level fighter. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good, but I mean,
he does everything right.
Yeah.
I
mean, the energy is different when you're fighting overseas, especially Japan. So I mean, in the UK, you're gonna have some dirty refs that's gonna let people hit you behind the head and do all this type of stuff. But in Japan, you're gonna get over there and they're gonna kill you with kindness. And they're gonna be so polite to you, and everything's gonna be clean and neat, and the people are gonna be sitting upright. They ain't gonna be making no noise. You're gonna be connecting. They ain't gonna make no. It's just gonna be quiet. He gonna be like, man, it's weird. So you kind of got to have your own motor thing going. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like fighting during COVID. Remember how they had them fighting in the bubble, and there wasn't nobody in there. You could hear all the punches. Man, I swear, if somebody farted over there at an Inouye fight up in the rafters, you could probably hear it and smell it in the ring. But no, man. All jokes aside. So look, I know you. Obviously you're gonna fast track your career or whatever. But what sort of plans are you putting in place? Now for when it's all said and done, right? Like, do you plan on doing like some sort of investing or anything like that, or maybe you plan on being a boxing coach or some sort? Are you planning?
So like I already kind of been working close to Kwame in his gym and doing a lot of training with a lot of his fighters, and some of even his amateurs helped me get ready for fights. But he took a couple fights in Colombia and Mexico, and that's kind of like the same path he was thinking about putting me on.
Okay.
Some other people in my ear that says it's not really a good idea because you can kind of live in a facade, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. Again, I'm 32. You know what I mean? And me personally, like, I would go take a couple fights down there, and then if I got a big fight, I'm going right back down there, and then getting a couple more wins, and then looking to see what's next. You know what I mean? Because if I could fight 3 times in a week down there and stay down there for 2 or 3 weeks, and I can finance that from a big fight, then I'm looking at a whole different type of paycheck versus me having only 10 to 12 wins or 8 or 9 wins. You know what I mean?
You could slide down there to Nashville, down there at Country Box, get with Jimmy and you know what I'm saying, the real Rick Ross, go over there and clean up a little bit.
I was thinking about that too, because there was a guy, he comes by the gym a lot too. His name's Henry Stewart. He's been doing a lot of work in the Midwest. Like he goes and he pays the slot fees, and that's what I've been asking a couple promoters, like, okay, how much is the slot fee this and how much is the slot fee for that? Because honestly, from a business standpoint, you're paying more money selling tickets, or you're coming up with more money selling tickets as opposed to paying a slot fee. Like a slot fee, the highest amount I probably heard was $1,500 to $2,000. But to fight locally, like every promoter wants you to sell 5,000 in tickets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't sound like a lot, but it
That's a
No,
lot.
it's a lot.
That's a lot.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at $75 a pop for a base level ticket, you're looking at trying to what 100 people. That's 7,500. That's that's just over the you know what I mean the threshold.
Yeah. No, that's no, that's a major part of it right there, and that's a side that some don't see, and that's why the support means what it means. When you get the people coming out.
I'm trying to tell you, and there's a lot of people too that'll run into some people sign these manager contracts where they'll be in good with the promoter and they'll pay for a couple of your opponents out the gate, but they want a large chunk of your money for damn near the rest of your boxing career.
Yeah, that is something that happens. And I was thinking about what you were saying and going to take some other fights. I know that, for instance, Tiara Brown, she became world champion last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, she used to be out at the Headbangers gym, and she's Hillcrest Boxing here. And I just remember she was calling a lot of these fighters out, and they weren't giving her the opportunity. So she took some fights in like Dominican Republic, things of that nature, to make sure that she stayed busy, stayed sharp on her game. And then when her opportunity came, she traveled to Australia, got it done. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
Sometimes that is the route that you have to go through. You want it to be a different way or whatnot, but yeah, having that focus and mindset and understand that you may have to take an alternate route towards the top, then do what you got to do.
And she's somebody I respect too because she had a whole career while
Yeah.
she was boxing. You know what I mean? Like it's not easy to do. Like some people don't like the idea of working a 9 to 5 while they're being a professional boxer. But I've had like Thomas tell me all the time. He was like, "Man, I fought on ESPN and was working at Sam's Club."
That's okay. I think until recently, where Shakur Stevenson is fighting an electrician. Why y'all just using that for a talking point? So what? He's an electrician. So people gotta grind in order to pay the bills. So it means nothing.
And I think they still bought Padley a house or some crazy
that
was floating around. I'm like, damn.
Right.
Why not? You know what I mean? People go to the gym.
Yeah, look, what you're doing right now, what we're accomplishing here right now is a great start. So, this is giving you a presence on the World Wide Web and YouTube and all the other platforms. And so people are actually getting an opportunity to follow you. So let me ask you this. Do you have a YouTube page where you're putting content out? Do you have a business page where people can find the tickets for your events at? Do you have any merch that you're selling that people could support and things like that? So, those are just questions that I would ask.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting into the whole merch thing. Like I work with a guy, he's been a big supporter of mine. He's been doing a couple of my t-shirts. I like to get a little bit further into that and like find like a distributor that I can kind of like run the whole situation myself. I do have an Instagram page that you guys follow. That's very, very it's new. And even when I talk to a lot of people with business, they're like, "Man, you don't have any followers. Like you'll benefit more off of my platform than me benefiting off of yours." So like I'm really, really grateful that you guys like even took the time to even consider, having me on here. You know what I mean? Because again, like you just said, like that's like the whole part of boxing. Like I have a YouTube account. Do I put content on there? No, I need to start. But it's a lot, man. And I was never really one of those guys that was took pride in like get in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Like that's not really like my whole thing with boxing. I was just kind of doing it for the love of the sport, and that's dumb. But it just is what it is. You know what I mean? And that's a start. You know what I mean? I plan to, be more viewer friendly and just kind of like interacting with the whole the net. You know what I mean? And getting myself out there, especially like before it gets big.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you somebody who's really good at that. Brandon Adams, the Cannon Nation, that guy right there, man, he putting some content out, man. It's funny, it's entertaining, but Buddy can get busy in the ring.
Fight, because a lot of people
Buddy gets busy.
He
gets busy.
No doubt. No, I knew he could do his thing. I was familiar with him. I saw him participate in some stuff. I remember seeing him on ESPN. Did he won at Contenders when they brought that back that second time? So hey, and he's locked in. He's always in shape, ready to
That's
go.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a good one. But I understand you on the I think the social media thing. So a lot of the younger fighters now, they were born with the phone in their hand. You know what I'm saying? You're 32, so you were around. You came about when technology started to take out. Social media became a thing. But some of these youngsters that are a little bit younger, they're in their 20s and all of that stuff. Social media was here, and they were on it from day one. You know what I'm saying? So I think we moved a little different back then, especially like for me. I didn't get a have a cell phone until I was in high school, and it was like a track phone that had that little green digital screen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's different, So you have to get used to just being on there, and even doing this podcast and stuff. Had to get used to just talking to myself at times. You know what I'm saying?
See, I mess around and give my age away on here. Man, I was there when Yahoo Messenger and AOL was cracking. You feel me? Yeah. I was here when the internet started. You feel me?
everybody remember Black Planet.
Yeah, MySpace. You feel me? I was doing it. Yeah, I was around here. I was getting music off of LimeWire. If you want to get my age,
come on.
That's legit though. But no, yeah, that was a good point that Ernest brought up. I think here in this digital age, that is something that is very
essential,
sort of glaring and out there, apparent in the sport now. And some people have, by virtue of social media, kind of talk their way or tweeted their way into certain fights, things of that nature. Now it can be a lot. You know what I'm saying? To be on there constantly posting and all that stuff, and some may have some teams or whatnot. But it is something to be aware of. I think a lot of it is branding nowadays in terms of establishing your own brand. And hey, coming on here, we have no problem with it whatsoever. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to chat with you, on your journey and all that stuff, because we're here talking about it. And so that's our ultimate goal and intent anyway. So that's why we're doing it, so we can hear from you all, the fighters. So we appreciate that. And I think that the audience, they want to hear from you all as well. And it's always, an opportunity there for you to start to build your own platform, and start to get out there more and, take advantage of it and do it your way. You're more mature now than some that are a bit younger, so you might take a different approach towards how you interact on social media.
Yeah, I agree 1,010% because I'm definitely a person that's, the internet don't need to see everything.
Right.
That's right.
Like I tip my hat off to AB every day, man, because for better or for worse, he took his personality and he took the platform and he went to the moon. Now,
right.
I think he could have went a little bit further, but
100%. 100%.
I'm glad
the outside noise.
Definitely.
But so speaking of AB though, but who you surround yourself with is also important. Not everybody has your best intentions at heart. Some people are there to be freeloaders, or some people are there to ride your success train until you fall off and they jump on somebody else's success train. So, it seems like you have a good team, and you have a good plan. Personally, I'm looking forward to seeing, your progress in the ring and what you got going. And, we would say, don't be afraid to come back here, even if you lose. We don't care if people lose or not. We're here to support. It's a sport, in sports, you take an L, you win. You get to get back up, you get to try again. That's how we see it. That's our perception. And we don't care if you got 20 followers. Tierra Brown's that way as well. She affords opportunities to the smaller platforms to be able to converse with her. And it should be that way. We can all help each other grow and be there for each other when things aren't going well. Like, me and Josh both have businesses, right? We may be able to do something for you and help you out in some ways and not even expect anything back in return. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, we love the sport. We're supporting athletes. We understand that it costs money to train. It costs money to travel. It costs money to get gear. And we know people that make gear. We know people that are associated with these things. So we're just here to, network, make strong connections, and help our people get paid without having to be a clown.
Yeah, that's love.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Hey, and I know you're locked in anyway, since you said you were trained by Damon's dad, because I know he be on it. And when I see him, I'm like, yes, sir. Hey, he don't mess around.
Yeah,
man, we're about this business, man.
Right, yeah.
Yes, sir. 1,000% right. Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. But no, that's good stuff there, man. But no, this has been great and enjoyable, man. Being able to chat with you, because I was wondering if I had been to one of the shows that you're on. I couldn't remember if I had. I was at a Patapsco event back in
I was gonna say,
February.
In a couple places before too. I don't know if it's like an amateur fights or where.
Yeah, because I do amateur. I officiate on the amateur side.
Okay.
We'll probably have.
So, yeah,
okay, we probably have there. So, man, I'm gonna be checking for you now because I'm usually at all the amateur events as well. And Ernest, he's down in Norfolk or Hampton area.
Okay.
So he comes up for some stuff too here. So we're gonna catch you at some things there for sure now.
That's cool. That's all right. Okay.
Yes, sir. We're gonna be locked in. And then for the people, so your next fight, June 27th, right?
June 27th, Patapsco Arena. Yes, sir. 3-0.
Arena. All right. And they follow you is Darryl_Bagley_boxing, right?
Yes, sir.
Gonna drop that in the chat, folks, so you can go follow him on Instagram, Darryl_Bagley_boxing. So be sure to check that out on IG, and I'll make sure to share that as well on the page and everything. Man, it's been a pleasure, 100%. Man, being able to chat with you here, you're taking the time, putting it at the gym, putting in work, all of that. Yeah, you're doing some grown man stuff, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you.
Waiting for me. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it a whole lot.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. And for the rest of the folks out there, we'll catch up with you all here on the back end. So enjoy the rest of your night.
Take care. I'll be tuned in as well.
All right. Thanks.